What's going on, family? You are now listening to the Fitness Headspace Podcast, brought to you by none other than myself, Deion Avril, aka Mr. Get Fit Don't Quit from Evolve Fitness. And this is our second episode of the podcast. Once again, I'd like to thank you all for joining me. If you guys could go ahead and just give me that quick like, share, subscribe, share with a friend, and share to somebody that you can definitely see benefiting from this information. Other than that, we're going to just get straight into it. Not going to waste any time. So just to give you a quick little layout, it's going to be the topics first, and then we're going to go into the tips right after, and then we'll close it out. So the first topic that I have for you guys is what's driving you through your journey? I want you to just take a second and think about that, because this is piggybacking off of last week's episode. So if you haven't watched the first episode, that was like 23 minutes long. And again, I just kind of touch just about everything that's really important as far as that foundation when you're starting. And these are going to correlate with them because you want to create that foundation like I just mentioned. So before you answer that question, I want you just to remember that it starts internally, because there's always going to be some type of external factor that's going to motivate you, whether it's car, clothes, shoes, anything physically speaking, right? Something that you could go pick up or whatever the case is. That'll give you that satisfaction for that time being. Now, let's just say that those factors weren't actually a part of your life or your lifestyle. Let's say you lived somewhere where all of that didn't mean anything. So then what are you going to do? The reason why I ask this question is because what you really want to do is learn more about yourself and reflecting on what's going to help you get through these times. That's going to be the most, and I mean the most important step. Because bottom line, you just want to make sure that you're mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally prepared when any obstacles come along the way. There's not going to be one goal that you're trying to achieve and not have some type of hiccup pop up in the way. Now, if you do, props, but it's not going to be every time it's that way. It's not always peaches and creams. So you just got to prepare yourself, because this is me speaking on the realistic aspect of things. And this is from a coach's perspective as well, too. And being a person where I had the opportunity to drop 20 pounds and go through this whole thing of training clients while still working as a coach and trying to balance out my training life. It's a lot. So you really have to be realistic with yourself and make sure that you're in tune and prepared for anything that might come along the way, is what I'm saying. Yeah. So just want you to think about that. But I'm going to go ahead and roll into the second topic, because this goes right after. I want you to think about being present while you're in the gym. I know you're probably like, what do you mean? Like, I'm there. Me being in the gym is being present. You're absolutely right. And it's easier said than done in most cases. So what I'll do is I want to give you guys a personal example so you get an idea of where I'm coming from. Okay. So there would be days that I would go into the gym and just basically just go through the motions, right? So I would just have one of those days where I'm just like, you know what? I just need to get in. I need to get this work in. And I have other things that I need to do. And like I just mentioned, these were the days where I was just busy, whether it's programming, like doing adjustments for the programs for clients that I have, having to meet up with clients, having to do consultations, whatever the case is, having to create content. Bottom line, what I noticed was, after I started to notice, which I just said, but it was one of those things where I would come into the gym and I would try to lift the weights and the intensity wasn't there. Or not even just the intensity. I'm really big on mind to muscle connection. So the mind and muscle connection wasn't there. And I was like, yo, I really have to sit back and reflect on basically my whole day, the whole day, what was going on, and dissect that. And the one thing that I found was I was letting those external factors, which is, again, in between that first topic, I was letting those external factors, and it wasn't even more on a beneficial aspect. It was just not understanding how to compartmentalize that, hey, you're here. This is what you need to focus on right now. Okay. And that's probably the one thing that that hurts a lot of people, I should say. So once I found out that I had to just understand that this was my time. I have to enjoy it, and I have to be intentional with the time that I have. And I've learned this from Kai Green, and he said this line. I think it was somebody that won some type of contest when he was doing, I think it was for Dynamic Muscle, which is his supplement company. And he was like, dude, do you guys understand? I think he asked the kid, he was like, listen, we're on this Stairmaster right now. Most people are just thinking about stepping. I'm not stepping. He said everything is done intentionally. The way that I place my foot, the way that I'm pressing through the ball of my foot and my heel and squeezing, engaging. Now, granted, he's big into like choreography and dancing, and he's a really good poser. And it's just things like that. It was the small details that I had to think about, and that's what connected to me in regards to being intentional and just knowing that I have a purpose when I come in. So I have a whole nother topic another day in regards to gym etiquette, and that is like my pet peeve. And that's why I do go to certain gyms, because people understand we could interact, we can converse, but I'm here to get a job done. We can talk after, we could talk a little bit here and there, but I'm honestly not here to make friends. I'm here to make gains and transform and really focus on me. This is why I'm here. Now, granted, you will meet people along the way. That's absolutely fine. But the whole point is when you understand what was causing the issue, you can be more intentional with your time while you're in the gym. And also just keep all that outside, because why should you be in the gym stressing about things that are outside of the gym? The whole point was to come here, think about those walls being barriers, and they're not necessarily protecting you, but they're giving you the opportunity just to be present. See how I went and did that? Anyway, so it's just something to think about, some food for thought. Now, this next topic, I want everybody to either take their phone, if you have a laptop, like with a little note taker that you could do really quick, like a memo notepad or something. You could take a tablet, pen and paper, whatever. I want you to write this question down. Here it is. What's my definition of perfect? Question mark. And what I mean by that question is, how do you look? And the fitness aspect is what I'm speaking about. So on your paper, you should have the question, what's my definition of perfect? And the reason why I want you to ask that is because I want you to paint me a picture in the sense of, how do you want to look? And how do you want to feel? But once you answer that question, when you write it out, I want you to ask yourself, why is that definition for you? Why is that definition for you perfect? And as a coach, it's going to give me an idea of what you're expecting at this point in time, and where we need, what we're going to need to do to get to that goal. But it's also going to help us be realistic about the goal. I'm really big on transparency and communication. So whenever I'm meeting a potential client, or any of my new clients, or current clients right now, everybody knows what time it is. I let everybody know that I'm straight to the point. Now, there's certain things you can sugarcoat, certain things in this case, as far as reaching your goals and what it's going to take to get there, I don't sugarcoat. If you want to hire on a coach that does that for you and it makes you feel good, then cool, but that's not the type of person I am. Now, I'm not going to be a complete a-hole when I'm explaining it to you, like, yeah, you're fat. What? No, I'm just telling you, hey, listen, we definitely have some work that we have to do. I don't want you to feel like this is not a discouraging conversation, but this is a conversation we need to have. This is serious. You really want this goal, don't you? You want to achieve this. So let's work together on making this work for you. So it's just something to think about. But it's crazy, because I'm just thinking to myself, when I'm speaking to anybody like that, sometimes, and certain people said it's never happened to me personally, but I know for some people it might be like, man, he's just like he's kind of rough on the edge. It's like, no, I'm passionate about what I do, and you'll hear it in my voice anytime I speak to anybody, or even now. And the reason why that's so important, sorry, And the reason why that's so important is because of the fact of I love seeing people transform and being a better them. I guess it's not perfect grammar, but being a better you. When we're trying to reach these goals and we're setting these goals, I'm more excited when you do reach them, because I'm like, yes, like not even the fact of, oh, it worked. It's like, you're doing phenomenal. Like, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud. So let's keep that same energy. Let's keep that same thing rolling. Keep the ball rolling. Let's stay on top of it. Stay positive. Let's stay motivated, dedicated. That's what we need. We need that consistency. This is one of those things where, for me, like if a client comes in, or potential client, whatever the case is, like, dude, I need to lose another 10, 15, 20 pounds, or that's what I want to lose. Okay. So what I'm doing in my mind is I'm visualizing, right? What you're expecting to look like. So I can see somebody who's telling me, like, they're 180, 190. I can see you at at least 170 starting, 175, and then going from there. Right? So I know 170 is probably a little bit more realistic, not 175 if we're talking 180. But 175, once you start to get down, it's like, okay, cool. Those first 5 pounds, once we get past that point, we'll start to see more, like a lot more difference in regards to your physique. Because primarily, most of the time, the first 5 pounds on minimum is going to be water weight. Ask any coach. Any knowledgeable coach will tell you that. It's primarily water weight that drops first. You have water fluctuation that happens too. So again, another topic for another day. I don't want to get sidetracked. These are just one of those things that I'm grateful for. Just being able to have that eye and telling people, like, listen, we can do it. I promise you we can do it. You just have to be dedicated and give me that same energy. I'm going to give you 125. I need the other 125. Same exact way. Because if I'm investing more into, as a coach, into your dream than you are, then I got to take a step back and figure out where was the miscommunication and how can I help you drive harder? Like, y'all got to understand, talking to your coach makes a huge difference. I'm telling you, this is why I keep reiterating some of the things that I do. It's really important. But I digress. Now, our next topic is going to be credibility. Okay. So nowadays, the internet is, as we all know, is going to be the main place that you're going to find a majority of your information. So whether it's new exercises, you got things like healthy recipes, how to prep, like meal prep, and whatever other questions that you might have overall. I'm notorious for that. So when somebody's telling me, like, I don't know why I feel X, Y, and Z, I didn't go to school for that. I'm at a point in my career and my knowledge and expertise to not be all within like my ego or have too much pride and think I know what I'm talking about. Meanwhile, that's actually ignorance. Instead of being ignorant, let me go ahead and do some due diligence from people that are specialized within whatever we're talking about, and that can give me their perspective. And of course, I am checking multiple resources just to confirm that everybody's on the same page. So I'm willing to help you find that answer if I don't know it. So again, my thing is we go on the internet for just about anything. When it comes to credibility, what I'm talking about specifically is, let's say, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and IG. There's absolutely nothing wrong. For example, let's say trying a new workout that you've seen on one of these social media platforms. But you should ask yourself, why is this person credible? It could be because of their degrees. It could be because they're certified. It could be because of the amount of followers or the type of status that they have within the fitness industry, or whatever else in between. They just got money, whatever. But just because somebody has a lot of followers does not mean that the information is credible. I couldn't tell you how many times, and this was like years ago, and I still see it now. I'm not gonna throw any shade, but there's somebody right now that like absolutely nobody in the fitness community is fond of, because he's selling people supplements. He's trying to sell people high-end, quote unquote, programs that works best for them, which is basically a cookie cutter plan for an absurd amount of money. And people are not even really getting results. But again, I'm not a negative person. I'm not talking negative. I'm just giving you an example. So to add to that, for me personally, I give you another personal example. I watch people like, man, Charles Glass, Jeff Nippard, Dr. Mike Israetel, just the whole RP team in general, Shredded Sports Science, Alan Hall, so many people, Omar Esoff, all of these people. These are some of my favorite people to get information from online. And I know I'm missing another person, and I don't want to miss this person, but I forgot his name right now. And although, hold on, I gotta find his name. It's gonna bug me, y'all. Hold on. Ryan Humiston. I hope for that and butcher his last name. He's a really good dude too. But again, everything that I've learned, all I'm saying is I take it all in with a grain of salt. Now, it's a little bit different for people who've had enough experience, like the last 15, 20 years, like Dr. Mike and, Jared Feather and just the whole team out there. Of course, I'm going to lean more their way because, again, these men and women have PhD degrees, and not saying, people can have degrees and not know anything, but clearly you need to know something to have a PhD. So that's kind of like, counterproductive in that sense, but that's not the situation. But you guys get what I'm saying. So I will take this information, but at the same time, Dr. Mike will tell you, like, although you're taking all my information, do what's still best for you. He could teach me how to program and do et cetera, based on his experience and what I know. But what I'm doing is taking the small bits and pieces from everybody and applying them, trying them out myself for enough time to see some type of progression or some type of improvement. And if it's something that it just does not work with my body immediately, then oops, that's it. It's fairly simple. So what I'm saying is just take pieces and bits from all different places and put them together and do something that works best for you. But still do your due diligence and understand what you're doing and why you're doing it, what it targets, but also learn how to make it work for you. These are all very important things. And I know you're probably like, what does that have to do with credibility? You'll be surprised how many people I know right now that always tells me, yeah, I just seen this, I just seen that. Oh, I'm trying this for glutes, da-da-da-da. Okay. Yeah, just because she has good glutes doesn't mean that it's just that in particular. She just might have outstanding genetics. And I'm not taking anything away from her. But I've seen some interesting programming. I'm like, huh. I'm like, okay. I didn't know that's what that worked on, but okay. And I'm looking through books and stuff, and I'm like, that's definitely not what it works on, but cool. Like somebody putting on BFR bands, which is blood flow restriction bands, underneath their glutes, and then doing partial squats. I call them pump squats, just real small pumps. But they're called partials. So you're going all the way down and coming up maybe a quarter of the way or maybe half and just hitting it. You're going to get more activation from your quads more than anything else, not your glutes. You can't put bands on your glutes. You'll put them, on the side of your knees, on your ankles, wherever else, and do other movements that will activate the glutes, but you can't put them underneath. And I see that all the time. Some people don't even know what they're used for. You know what I'm saying? So I'll go ahead and just tell you really quick. I don't want to get off topic, but the reason why you would use BFR bands in this case, or in any case, primarily for most people, is for somebody that's trying to reduce the load. Let's say that we had a crazy heavy week and on my legs and my knees are like, eh. So then what I would do is go ahead and wrap them. So then I'm able to reduce the amount of weight or load that's on the bar or on the machine or whatever the case is, and keep it relatively low at a maybe 30 to 40% 1 rep max and keep it there. Or somebody that just might be dealing with an injury. Those are going to be like the top 2 reasons why I would highly recommend them. So when I see guys with BFR bands on their arms, the whole workout, I'm like, dude, what the, y'all know the other word. Or the ladies that have them on the whole time. I'm like, can you actually still feel your legs? Because you are cutting off your circulation, technically. Now, we got 2 more topics. The last, the one before the last, I should say, is going to be about the rat race. Okay. So unfortunately, we do live in a society that's it's moving at a pretty fast rate. Okay. And I think that alone does cause a lot of problems in many ways. So if you think about it, you have people that are eating fast food because they're on the road and they don't have the opportunity to cook which I feel like is okay, but it's kind of still a little bit of a gray area that we could still dive into. Or, like, for example, I pay for Amazon. I was literally looking at something this morning and I could order it and it will be here tomorrow. So we're so used to getting things really quickly. And this is transitioning into a lot of ladies that I've noticed that want to go get butt lifts. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the fact of you can't expect to get something and not maintain it. I mean, you're going to have to do something. So everything that's worth it, in my opinion, just takes time. So you got things, again, when it comes to logistics and Amazon, listen, I'm paying y'all to make it work. I don't have to worry about that. And I get that. That's what some of the ladies like. I'm paying you to make it work. I don't care about anything. Just make it happen. But let me put it to you this way. Let's just say that you lost all the weight you've wanted to in 1 month. What's going to be your plan to keep it off? Think about that. Or if you get a lipo, tummy tuck, whatever, but you have no plans of coming into the gym to still work on your core to maintain what the doctor just did for you. So these are things that go through my mind personally, and I might ask a person from time to time based on who they are, because these are real life scenarios and I want them to understand what it all entails. So let's say a lady would pay, let's say $4,000 to get the lift done. You still have to maintain it and go to the gym. So why not invest it back into someone that can help you grow your glutes or help you get that flat stomach all at the same time and learn how to maintain it. Oh, also don't forget, you don't have to worry about the pain afterwards that the girls don't talk about post-surgery. Okay. And you also don't have to worry about being out of the gym because you have to recover from surgery. These are things that you got to consider before taking a shortcut. And that's with a majority of different things. Just because you can get it quickly doesn't mean that it's something that you should do, because it might not be as sustainable. Now we're at our last topic, y'all. And this one's really simple and straight to the cut. Now, we all have goals, but if we don't meet our expectations, we can't allow them to rule our lives. And I'll give you a personal example again, because I want you guys to understand that as a coach, whether I've been doing this for the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years, it doesn't matter. I'm still human and I want you to be able to relate to me. So check me out. I would love to get on a bodybuilding stage right now. And I'm really happy with where I am as far as physique wise, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. But I'm dealing with a shoulder issue. So it would be counterproductive for me to continue to work hard and potentially risk my whole bodybuilding career moving forward just for the next 2 months. Now, although it is my goal to get on stage this year, I've already come to the fact of accepting that I might not be able to, possibly, in regards to how severe my shoulder is. And that's okay. Because I'm thinking to myself, like, bro, I'm 26 years old. Or I should say 26 years young. Let me correct myself. I'm 26 years young. I still have my whole career ahead of me. Some dudes have not even hit stage until their 30s. I'm good, bro. I'm straight. I'm all right. So again, these are the perspectives that you want to think about, because there's always a positive thing on the back end. So although it might sound negative for most people, and people are like, dang, that sucks, I'm good. I understand that this is not the end of the road. You get what I'm saying? So we can't let that interfere with how we move and becoming depressed and saying, oh, because I didn't reach this goal, I feel some type of way. Now, let me give you another perspective. Because that was just one goal, guess what? This is why I say you need to have multiple goals. Because one, although I'm at a good place physique-wise, I still have other goals in mind that I have to reach. So I don't have time to sit here and, mope. Ooh. I don't have time to sit here and mope about, oh, I didn't get this, I can't do this, I can't do that. You don't have time for that. You have other goals that you're going to reach that are also going to be, if not more important, as equal or it's going to be equally as important, I should say. So keep yourself focused, have multiple goals, set those milestones, like we said as well too early in the last episode, because it all comes into play. All of this it comes full circle. And as you can see, there's a lot of psychology that people don't think about that goes into your preparation and getting ready to really move the way you need to in the gym, or if you're already in the gym as well too. Now, we have come to the end, and we're about to hit these trainer tips really quick, okay? I have 3 of them for you. Very simple, very simple. The first one is be curious. Ask questions. If you have a coach, you're paying them to learn information. You're paying them to, or not even paying, you're investing within yourself when you're hiring a coach, okay? I had to rephrase that because that's genuinely what you're doing. So look at your coach as a resource. Of course, a human being, but as a resource and somebody that you can talk to if you do have questions. Because if I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, if I'm paying somebody $400 or $500, listen, our communication better be on point. I don't care how many clients you have. Treat me like I'm your first client that you've ever trained. Keep that same energy. You get what I'm saying? So be curious, ask questions. You should want to learn more, because this whole journey, you're not going to just keep doing the same thing over and over again. You're going to always learn things, put yourself in that position to be a little bit more knowledgeable than you were the day before. The second thing is make it fun. There's not even, what else do you want me to say? You should want to go to the gym and do this because you want to, but you should enjoy it as well. It's going to hurt. It's going to be a little painful to some extent, but that's the least of your worries right now. Just make sure you have fun and remember why you're doing this. This should be for you, not because, somebody could have dumped you and you're just like, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole. But you should do this for you, not because my ex broke up with me and I want to get a revenge body. Like, that could be a reason why, but I'm pretty sure there's something deeper than that. So let's figure that out. But also just make it fun. Don't make it miserable. You shouldn't be dragging into the gyms like, oh my God, I want to do this. No, man, you got to get in with all positive intentions, with intent, like I said before, and really put your work in. Now, the last one is celebrate, okay? Congratulate yourself from time to time. It's okay to do that. This is why we set those milestones in regards to reaching those those bigger goals. Can't believe I just said huger. But these are things that you really want to hone in on. And I'm a person, I have to practice what I preach. And I have been recently. And just being aware and conscious aware, either way, of the progress that I've made. And you should do the same thing and just be happy as far as where you've come and how far you've come along. Because a lot of people never think about that. I'm like, dude, you remember what you showed me last year, how you used to look? Look at you now. I know you're not where you want to be, but you really need to just pat yourself on the back and say you did this. We don't do it enough. We don't give ourselves enough credit. So keep that in mind. Now, we have come to the end. Like I said, I greatly appreciate you all just taking the time to stick here with me and listen and get this beautiful information that I'm sharing with you all. Because again, I know that somebody out there that's listening to this can definitely relate to this. And like I said, I can relate to it as well too. This is why I give you personal examples. This isn't just BS that I'm telling you. This is stuff for real that I've experienced and currently still going through. So I would greatly appreciate if you guys just subscribed, share this with a friend, post it somewhere else, comment. Let's get this algorithm going, because I really want to get this community as large as possible with quality content and great people to share this information and just give each other encouragement, give each other love, and helping people whenever we can if you are more knowledgeable in certain aspects or areas. That's what we really want to do. Now, again, you guys can find me just about everywhere. Not only just on YouTube, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. Not really on Snapchat that often. So everything else but Snapchat right now. Let me take that back. It's not really doing the do right now. And once I get a little bit more acclimated with these podcasts, we're going to have them on other podcast platforms as well too, like iTunes and Spotify. I think there's one like Stereo. There's a couple of different ones. So we'll get there soon. But other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful day, night, evening, afternoon, wherever you are right now when you're listening to this. You be safe. Stay healthy. Stay hungry. And remember, get fit and don't quit. I'll see you next time.